forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Much calmer than just 3 or 4 hours ago as we look at the roofing dugout at Bratcher weather camera in Champaign. That's what the radar looked like earlier tonight as storms raced across central Illinois, leaving behind a path of damage in a lot of locations as well. Still a little breezy out there. We still got wind gusts 20 to 25 miles an hour, and those winds are going to return tomorrow. But that severe thunderstorm watch we had has expired. The severe weather threat is over. Now we're just going to watch the temperatures tumble. 51 in Champaign with temperatures out the door tomorrow, back down into the 40s as some people will be cleaning up quite a bit of the damage. We've got a recap of all of that damage, pictures, video, and reports. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
Large parts of central Illinois are cleaning up tonight as storms left debris in their wake.
In most cases, the mac and cheese on the shelves are really gone.
It's a commonly picked over item at stores anymore, and one factory is trying to churn out as much as it can. Many people recover from coronavirus, but some may have something else that could keep on protecting them.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
Down power lines and ruined structures are scattered across the area tonight. Good evening, I'm Jessica Coons. Strong storms quickly blew through central Illinois earlier this evening, but they did their share of damage. WCIA 3's chief meteorologist Kevin Leidy in our tracking center. Kevin, just how widespread was this damage?
Boy, this started coming over around the Lincoln area, and it went all the way across central Illinois. All those little dots are some kind of wind damage or a hail report everywhere from, like I said, Lincoln down to Decatur, getting over to Piatt County, Posodum, Champaign, Danville, Georgetown, all those areas picking up on some kind of damage. So let's do a little bit of a tour here. I've got pictures from Oriana to Bement to Monticello to Oakwood, Mahomet. Let's take a look at some of those photos of damage from across the area. That's in Oriana. I see the tree on top of the house there from Sarah Jones. Skipping up, take a look at this in DeWitt County. Jeffrey says his parents' farm there, a lot of damage. Look at that on top of the boat there, structure there that fell on top. And then many trees down in the Bement area. Melody snapping that photo up to Monticello. Another tree on a home. Heading over to Posodum, snapped power poles and many power lines down. Deanna sending that photo to us. Up we go to Mahomet with more trees. Bob Dutton sending that photo and all the way over to Oakwood as we've got you covered area-wide. Minda with the tree on top of some of the background playground equipment. Trampolines flew everywhere. Pools were destroyed in some areas. And no surprise when wind gusts were 70 to 80 miles an hour. Bement, an 80-mile-an-hour wind gust. You can see the other towns there. Decatur, 66. It was a wild night for sure, but things are going to calm down for us. And we'll talk more about that in the forecast here in a little bit.
All right, Kevin, we'll see you then. Power has been knocked out in several areas because of the storms. For a closer look at that damage, we head to Jennifer Jensen, who is live in Macon County for us tonight. Jennifer, what are you seeing out there?
Jessica, I'm on Route 48 in between Argenta and Oriana. Now, I know it's dark, so you can't really see, but right back there across the road is one of several snapped power poles that snapped because of the strong winds in this storm tonight. While we were driving on Route 48 in this area, we saw at least 4 power poles that were down, and these are the main lines that feed power to these surrounding towns. Map showed that at least 641 customers in Oriana are out of power and at least 498 without service in Argenta.
We heard just a lot of wind. I mean, it was very sudden. Just, yeah, a lot of wind came up, and we were out on the porch, and then we ran inside, and we didn't really have any damage except no power. And it would blink off and on, and then it just went off.
Crews are out here right now assessing the damage and what needs to be done to make repairs, but the Ameren worker I talked to tonight on scene said they're not sure when the power will be restored. Now, as we were driving around all over Macon County to several different towns tonight, we saw roofing panels ripped off the top of houses, as well as many large trees that were snapped and lying in the roadways. So it is going to be quite the cleanup process going into tonight, as well as into the morning tomorrow. Live in Macon County, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
A lot of work for those crews. All right, Jennifer, thank you. Hundreds of people are without power in central Illinois. Jennifer just mentioned some of them. There's also a lot of power out in the Lincoln area. Power lines along I-55 south of Lincoln were torn down, blocking roads in and out of the Logan County Correctional Center. 2 semi-trucks were blown onto their sides on the interstate, and one business lost 5 grain bins full of lumber when the strong winds blew them over onto railroad tracks.
My husband went out towards the road to look at the sky. At that point in time, he looked over and like 2 grain bins were being blown over at that point in time.
The bins also tore down several power lines south of Lincoln. Crews were still clearing off those railroad tracks as of tonight. Moving to another part of central Illinois, Monticello and Bement. Kevin showed some of this earlier. Let's take a closer look. Large tree branch snapped and fell onto a home off of Route 105, causing some damage to the roof there. Ameren crews are out surveying power line damage, and Public Works crews are working to clean up tree debris. And the Bement grade school is going to need some repairs. One of its chimneys was blown off of the roof and scattered into pieces on the ground. You can keep up to date and stay weather aware by downloading our WCIA 3 weather app. Some other news tonight, police are investigating a murder in Decatur. It happened this morning. Police found a 24-year-old man in a car at the scene. He had been shot several times and later died at the hospital. This is the second murder in Decatur in less than a week. No word on any suspects. And Danville police are investigating after a 17-year-old was shot in the foot. This happened yesterday near Main and State Streets. Witnesses say they saw a car drive past and someone in it fired a shot. You can call Crime Stoppers if you know anything. Coronavirus cases in Illinois are up by more than 1,500 today. That brings the state total to more than 15,000 cases. 82 more people died, bringing the death toll in Illinois to 462. In Piatt County, Sheriff David Hunt says he tested positive for COVID-19. He says he was taken to the hospital and tested when his symptoms worsened, and he is now recovering at home. Health experts are making some positive strides in the fight against COVID-19. Today, the FDA approved a blood test that could help determine who may have already recovered from coronavirus and if that infection helped their immune system build up protection against it. State leaders say these steps gave them hope, but they also warn people who recovered could still carry the virus to someone else.
That if you've had COVID-19, there is a high likelihood that you are immune from getting it again. Unless it mutates or there's some other development of it.
There absolutely is still the risk of someone, even if they were personally immune, of them touching the virus, transferring it to another surface where somebody could pick up. So the donning of gloves would absolutely still be necessary.
The U.S. is already undergoing clinical trials to test 2 vaccines for coronavirus. The governor says that those vaccines probably won't be ready for several months. The blood test that determines who has recovered could help some immune workers re-enter the workforce safely. The governor also said today he will not issue a statewide curfew on liquor sales. Chicago's mayor banned liquor sales in city limits after 9 p.m. She cracked down on several liquor stores after large crowds started gathering late at night. But elsewhere in Illinois, you can still legally buy alcohol. Liquor stores are considered an essential business. A central Illinois plant is working around the clock to keep up with sky-high demand for a certain type of food product.
We're serving the country right now. We have a bigger purpose. We have a bigger purpose right now.
Macaroni and cheese is one of many items that are in high demand but low supply. The Kraft Heinz plant in Champaign has 900 employees working to try to keep up. WCIA 3's Emily Braun has more.
Kraft macaroni and cheese has always been popular. And did you know? About half of the Blue Box Kraft macaroni and cheese made in the United States is made in the Champaign, Illinois plant. The plant manager told me right now they can't make enough of it.
I go into the stores pretty frequently just to see how we look on the shelves. And when you look at it, in most cases, the mac and cheese on the shelves are really gone.
Kraft Heinz plant manager Dilton Gibbs says they're making 27% more mac than they usually do.
It's been like that for the last 4 weeks.
He has people working 24/7. The plant even added additional shifts in the schedule. And even that is barely running in line with the sky-high demand.
We've always done a really good job. But right now, with the situation and the economy and all, We have to produce. We have to put product on the shelves to keep America going.
Gibbs says in order to do that, they have to keep up proper safety and social distancing protocol, keep people informed, and keep up morale.
3 hours a day I'm putting into what's going on around the plant, what's going on with our people, and how we keep, our practices up in the forefront on a daily basis now. It's critical.
He says he's grateful that even in tough times and tireless work, morale is one less thing he has to worry about.
People are smiling because they know what they're doing is very important to our country right now, more so than ever before.
In Champaign, Emily Braun, WCIA 3, your local news leader.
Macaroni and cheese is just one product in high demand. Many of you are wondering when you'll be seeing more paper products and cleaning supplies. We reached out to Harvest Market in Champaign. Their manager told us many suppliers of those items are narrowing the amount they make. Stores may order large quantities of products and only get a fraction of them in the shipments. They told us a lot of suppliers have not provided much information about when those products will be widely available again. We bring you stories about COVID-19 every day, and we know it can get a little heavy. That's why we have something to brighten your day. Plus, some summer events are already starting to cancel, what some have decided to postpone instead. And later, high school sports are on the sidelines for now, but this athlete is still holding out hope.